Good evening. My name is James Dougherty, and I want to talk to you about sexual harassment, assault, response, and prevention, or the SHARP program. Most of us know someone personally who's been sexually harassed or assaulted. Sexual harassment and assault are very serious offenses that happen frequently in all professions. So the Army has put a special program in place to try to prevent these offenses from occurring, which is commonly referred to as SHARP, or Sexual Harassment, Assault Response, and Prevention. I will tell you about why SHARP is so important in the Army, differences between sexual assault and harassment, and the training program in place, which is mandated by the Army. First, it is important to know the differences between sexual harassment and sexual assault. According to the Army SHARP website, sexual harassment is a form of gender discrimination that involves unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature between the same or opposite genders when submission to or rejection of such conduct explicitly or implicitly affects an individual's employment, work performance, or creates a hostile or intimidating work environment. While sexual assault is intentional sexual contact characterized by use of force, physical threat, or abuse of authority when the victim does not or cannot consent. Sexual assault can occur without regard to gender, spousal relationships, or age of victim. Now we have the definitions, so let's go over some examples of what actually constitutes harassment and assault. Sexual harassment consists of verbal, nonverbal, and physical behaviors. Jokes, nicknames, pet names, pornography, suggestively licking lips, or cornering an individual are all forms of sexual harassment. The important thing to remember about sexual harassment is intent does not matter. If someone is offended by your joke, even if you didn't mean to offend them, you've just committed sexual harassment. Groping, fondling, rape, sodomy are all examples of sexual assault. Now that you know the differences between sexual harassment and assault, let us look at why SHARP is so important in today's Army. Many people may wonder why SHARP is so important. A survey conducted in 2009, 70% of enlisted female soldiers have experienced sexual harassment and 60% of female officers have also. Sexual harassment is not just a crime against women in the Army, men are victims as well. According to the same study, 50% of enlisted males and 40% of male officers have been victims of sexual harassment. That is an average of over half of all Army soldiers have been victims of sexual harassment. These numbers are the reason the Army practices SHARP training and prevention techniques. The Army has determined that these numbers are unacceptable in the workforce, and they are correct. In 2011, there were 1,695 reported sexual assaults Army-wide. Of those reported cases, 53% were soldiers on soldier assault. Again, that is over half, and it is important to keep in mind that these are only reported cases, so the numbers are actually much higher. Of these reported assaults, approximately one-third of the victims reported they were victims of sexual harassment before the assault occurred. With over half of all the Army soldiers being victims of some type of sexual harassment behavior, it is important to not only recognize harassment, but to train soldiers on the programs, regulations, and procedures in place for sexual assault and harassment. With sexual assault and harassment so prevalent in the Army today, it is critical for soldiers to understand the differences between sexual harassment and assault, the importance of SHARP, and the training program put in place by Army regulations. These are crucial points to get sexual assault and harassment to stop in today's Army. We are all responsible for watching out for each other, reporting violations to proper command, and actively participating in the biannual SHARP training. If you'd like more information on this topic, please feel free to check the websites I have posted as references. Also, feel free to ask questions or comment on this speech. Thank you.